Okay. Sorry about that. I was like, where am I? I'm not seeing me. So, thank you, everybody. Don't mind me and my tech issues. I am so proud to be part of the Empowerment Conference. Thank you, Marlene. Thank you, all my sisters in the journey. It's a big, 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 big pleasure always to be with you and to take part in these conferences. So, yes, boss, let's do it. Today we are going to have a great, great time. I want to welcome you all and especially all our resilient champions who are sparing no effort to rebuild their lives, to reset their lives, and to go become their best versions. And so today is another day of celebration. We are going to really share our journeys and just discuss, share our experiences, and find ways to build together or to build back better. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much, boss. I am so happy today. I have to look beautiful because today is a beautiful day to share and grow together. So, I am so hyped and blessed. So I want to welcome everybody who is coming in. Let me not be talking too much. I have limited time, and we are going to. I just want to welcome everybody who is coming in, and we are a like six phenomenal women of faith who are today going to sit and share our experiences, how we broke our different chains, and I can't really talk much. I was so happy when Marlene talked about this topic, and I said, yes, what am I going to break? What chains do I want to share with people? What chains are holding us back? And what do I want to share, like from my experience? So I'm sharing from my experience. Hola, guapa, muy, muy buenas. So I'm sharing from my experience. But of course, we know that most often when we start sharing our stories, we realize that we are not alone. And so today I am going to talk about breaking my chains of shame and stigma. A recap story: I am a two-time divorcee with no children. And I come from a society, I come from Africa, from Cameroon in Central Africa, where the value of a woman is measured by whether she is married and whether she has children. And even when you are married and have children, you have to have male children that have to perpetuate the family name. And so, coming from that kind of background and divorcing twice, of course, you can imagine how life was challenging for me before I found myself. It was so challenging because I felt that I was a failure because I had failed in marriages, despite the fact that I was very successful as a professional. When you are a journalist and you cover major world events, I covered the World Summit on the Information Society. I covered the UN conference for climate change. I covered the World Summit for social change. And I even covered the African Nations Cup. Covering the African Nations Cup for a woman is a great achievement because you know football is for, like they say, it's for men. I covered up all those events. I was on world stages, but in me, I was feeling like a failure. I had that stigma of having divorced twice and of having no children. And I really was like, yes, I am a failure. And it really got to me because I began to believe that I was a failure. I forgot that professionally I was excelling. I forgot that I am an amazing auntie to so many nieces and nephews. I forgot that I had impacted many people's lives and helped them to really become better people. I forgot all those amazing things that I achieved and focused on my shame and stigma. Because why? Because that is the way I was looking at myself from the lenses of the society. And so I am so happy to come to this platform and share my experience, create awareness, and advocate and make people to know that you are not measured by just one aspect of your life. You bring value wherever you are. And there are many ways you can bring value. So I am breaking my chains because it's a continuous process. It's a long journey that I started. I have been breaking this chain of shame and stigma. I have been going and I will keep going till every breath is out and I really spread the message wide and far that you are not a failure just because you failed at some things at some point. You are a work in progress and there's always room for improvement. And also, you have Michael Jordan level talents at one or two things, and the rest of the things that you cannot do, you can find help. So when we are talking about breaking chains, it's like so many things put together. And I'm happy that my sisters in the journey are going to cover most of the other parts of breaking chains. But my breaking chains of shame and stigma, because shame and stigma are powerful forces. Those are powerful forces that can keep people from living their lives to the fullest. It did for me. Imagine me, an accomplished professional. If I could be broken, if I could feel the shame and the stigma, then imagine the people, the thousands, the millions of women and men out there who are divorced, who are branded. Because when you are divorced, automatically they think you are a bad person. Society thinks you are a bad person, and that's why you couldn't stay in marriage. So, if for me it was so difficult, me who has traveled worldwide, then imagine for the people who don't have the opportunity, who have not met people, who have not really traveled, who have not experienced other cultures. And I'm so thankful for my traveling, because when I was traveling, I increasingly met a lot of women and men who said, and they really affirmed and they are living it, I don't want children. I don't want to be married. I don't want to. And they live their lives on their own terms. So, whether it is a shame of the past mistakes or stigma from a challenging condition, these negative feelings can be suffocating and isolating. It does not have to be that way, because by breaking the chains of shame and stigma, we find freedom and acceptance. This means breaking free from limitations, leading to personal growth and empowerment. And there couldn't be a more ready topic on an empowerment conference than the one of breaking chains. And so we are just going to explore the impact of shame and stigma and discuss ways to overcome. I will share the examples from my personal experience. But before we really go to all of this, what is shame? What is shame? Many definitions they abound about what shame is. Shame is a complex emotion that is often associated with the feelings of guilt, embarrassment, and humiliation. A feeling that arises when you feel that, and belief that you have failed to meet a certain standard or expectation, and you fear that you will be judged negatively. So so this can sometimes lead to negative self-talk, self-doubt, and even depression for some people. When I was looking at like the definition, different definitions of shame, it stands out. What is what are you what are you ashamed of being judged by others, of being not fit for societal expectations, which means they are not your expectations, it's other people. And it has such a big influence that negatively impacts your life. And on its part, they say stigma is a negative and unfair social attitude towards a particular person or group or whatever, but it is a condition that results in marginalization and devaluation based on perceived differences from social norms. So you are traumatized, you are marginalized, you are devalued. Like you have, I always had people talking to me, even when I had a good intention of helping someone, they will tell you, you can't understand Mary because you don't have children. You can't understand what we are talking about because you are divorced. And so you feel like you have no value. And then you continuously have to fight. You have to fight to assert yourself. And when you are fighting to assert yourself, you have to stand up early, like they say. Because this shame and stigma, they have serious consequences when you don't check them. And people have even been known to commit suicide because of the shame and the stigma that society put on them. Because, like we said, the chains are from society, from the people, from societal expectations. Because they will say the chains represent social norms that limit our freedom. They represent the symbol of breaking you down. And when you are talking about breaking chains, it means you want liberation and empowerment. And we must recognize and challenge the chains that hold us back. So each of us have our different chains that hold us back. It is our responsibility to recognize and challenge whatever chain is holding us back. So, what is the chain that is holding you back? Every one of us, we have the responsibility to find the chains that are holding us back and to find a way to break them. And why do we have to break the chains? Why did I have to break the chains of shame and stigma? Firstly, because they prevented me from really operating at my best level. I was like, okay, this is yes. I can't talk where people are talking. I can't talk where people are talking with their children, with their families, because what am I going to say? Of what use is what I'm talking about when, like they will say, you don't understand because you don't wear the shoe. But they forget that you have your own pain, that you are also affected. You are not like, it's not the society that is going to help you to deal with your pain. You are pained, and then they are adding more pain to your injury by judging you, by stigmatizing you. Like say, look at that one, she has no children, she's divorced twice, and all the rest. And they will tell you, no matter how powerful or how much work you're doing or how you shine in your profession, you are not a woman because you are divorced, because you don't have children. So it is important to break the chain. I found the importance because, like, when it comes to divorce, people think that it is your fault or it's because you are a bad person. No, sometimes you just made a mistake, and we are all liable to make mistakes. Sometimes you don't even you don't see it coming, you make mistakes, and then you ignore a lot of red flags, and then you find yourself divorcing. Shame and stigma can perpetuate harmful stereotypes. And when we stigmatize, we contribute to a culture of exclusion and intolerance. Like, people will go as far as telling their wives, don't go around with Mary because what can she tell you? She will only give you bad advice because she's divorced. But everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. And so, when we are finding a way to break our chains, we want to rebuild our self confidence. We want freedom and we want equal opportunity because we have to work to dismantle harmful attitudes and beliefs that can create, like, people go as far as just isolating themselves because they think that they are not worthy. Meanwhile, they can bring value. Everybody can bring value. So how do we break chains? What what do we really do? What did I do to break my chains of shame and stigma? Because overcoming this was a challenging and complex process, but it is possible. I did it. It is possible. I did it. First, I call them my winning steps because it is very important. Practice self acceptance. I realized that one of the most important steps in overcoming my shame and stigma is to recognize and acknowledge that these feelings are not my fault and they did not define who I am. It is important to practice self acceptance and embrace who you are, including your flaws, your imperfections. Like they say, you are perfectly imperfect. And we should always remember that we are all human and that nobody is perfect. And by accepting ourselves, we can start to break free from these chains. When you accept yourself, you focus on your positive qualities instead of dwelling on your flaws or comparing yourself with others. And then you start to celebrate these qualities and remind yourself very often, Mary, you are an amazing person. You bring value. You help people, and yes, Marlene, you are enough. So when you practice self acceptance, you discover that you are just perfect the way you are, and you celebrate yourself. And then you don't go comparing or trying to be someone else, you just be you. And when you practice self acceptance, you have to practice self compassion. And self-compassion means you treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you will offer to a close friend. You are your own best friend. When you make a mistake or experience a setback, try to respond with self-compassion rather than self-criticism. Acknowledge your feelings and offer yourself words of comfort. It's much easier to offer words of comfort to people, other people, and then we are so hard on ourselves. Practice self-compassion. Acknowledge your feelings and offer yourself words of comfort. Yes, Mary, you can do this. Mary, you are an amazing person. Remember, like when they say self-acceptance and self-compassion, like the story I always share back home, when you are when you are a troublesome person or you are not successful, let me say successful in quotes, people say God created you on the last day with the last material that he had used to create all the amazing people, because he didn't want to waste that material, so he just joined everything up and created you, and that is why you are the way you are. But no, Mary, God created you on the first day of creation when he had all the material. So you are wonderfully and beautifully made. You are blessed and anointed. So you have to practice self-compassion, and also remember that self-compassion is a journey. So you have to do it every day. It's not like a one-day thing. And then my second step, break, speak out. Speak out. Speaking up about our experiences is a powerful way to break free from shame, because by sharing our stories with others, we can help raise awareness and break down the barriers that prevent us from living our lives to the fullest. Because when I realized that when I started sharing my experiences and feelings with others, I discovered that I was not alone in my struggles, and that there were so many people out there who were also struggling. And this was a huge relief and a source of comfort. And it also helped to validate our experiences and feelings. So when we speak out, we also challenge the negative beliefs and attitudes that contribute to our shame and stigma. And sharing my story has been very powerful. Yes, personal stories help all of us, our viewers, the people we relate with, to inspire them to take action. When you share our stories, we help others, and this can lead to greater acceptance and understanding. Of course, speaking out is very difficult and complex. Yes, boss, testimony is powerful. Thank you very much. I am so grateful to all of you. I am just running because I, I have time constraint, but it's a topic that we're going to be talking. So when you speak up, it helps you to challenge negative self-talk. It is important to challenge these negative self-talks, because when you have positive affirmations, it helps you build your self-confidence. And most often, shame and stigma, they stem from lack of understanding and education. So by educating yourselves, especially on learning your limiting beliefs, you are making way to relearn or to learn new habits that empower you. And it is so important. It is so important to be an advocate, because when you talk about your story, you are an advocate, you are raising awareness, and you are promoting change. And that's the mission: raise awareness, promote change. And of course, there's no way you can do it alone. You seek help. You have to seek help. You have to seek help because when you talk to a trusted, like seeking help is you talking to a trusted person. You are talking to your family. You're talking to a therapist. You're talking to a friend. And by seeking help, it's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It is a sign that you recognize that I have gone to my elastic limit and now I need help. And that's why they say collaboration is key. When you work together, you can amplify your message, you can reach a wider audience, you can really share with so many people who need to hear your message, like Renee's Garden, Secret Garden. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to serve. And in an empowerment conference like this one today, you empower your viewers to take action because you provide them with the resources and the tools they can use to combat shame and stigma in their lives and in their communities. And most often, you are empowering people without knowing there are so many people out there who are passing through the same things that you have overcome and they need a survival guide. So share your stories. It is so important. Share your stories, seek help, talk with people. Like they say, a problem shared is half solved. And also, they say, once you have told people and shared your stories, nobody can use your flaws against you. Nobody can stand there out there and say, oh, Mary, you're divorced, you don't have children, you are not a woman, you are not worthy, blah, blah, blah. I already have shared that story, so you're not telling me anything new. I know that about me, and but I value myself. And I thank God for who I am and for giving me the opportunity to share my journey and to help one person, to help somebody who thinks that they are a failure because they failed at something. No, you are not a failure. Find the things that you are good at and do them and serve in that area. You bring value in the things that you do. Just find the best things that you do, even if it's cooking, even if it's cleaning, even if it's taking care of your children. Find the best thing that you do because you have Michael Jordan level talent at something. Find that something and do you and be proud of yourself and never ever think that you are a lesser person because you do not have one thing or the other. You are beautifully and wonderfully made and you are perfectly imperfect. So it's a journey, but you have to take your responsibility. Find that chain in your life that is keeping you from reaching your full potential and do you. I've identified mine. I have broken my chains of shame and stigma. I am no longer ashamed to say I am divorced. I am no longer ashamed to say I don't have children because there are people who say I have decided to live child free. So I'm sending the link to Marlene. Marlene, you can come up and let's talk. And then, because we have other speakers, they are going to share their own experiences and really just bless someone today. So, Marlene, there's a link in the chat. If you want to come up, you are welcome. So, like we are saying, these conferences are really like a way of telling us that you are not alone. You are not alone, and that there are many people out there who can hold your hand. Hey, Marlene.
Hi, Coach Mary. Hey, everybody. I just wanted to come up just for a minute. You did an amazing conference and a great topic. I just had two things that I want to share, and then I'm going to drop down. One of the things I'm so glad that you talked about the stigma and shame. For a long time, I was operating from the opinions of other people. That's where I stayed, and that's where I because that's the only place I thought that I could be at. But we have to learn to shift that. I had to learn to not let their opinion of me be where I reside. I had to find my power. I had to find my energy for myself. And once you find out who you are and what you're about, you can remove that shame. But the problem usually is that we are in shame because we have not forgiven ourselves for the things that we have done. Then when you take your power back, nobody can come at you because you already realize who you are and what you're about. That's why it's so important to break that chain and to become free and know who you are and know your personal worth, not what other people deem you to be worthy as. Okay, so people will use things to embarrass you and cause you to hate yourself, and you have to break the shame and the stigma by not allowing other people to control you. You have to know yourself. You have to know yourself. And I think that that's the most valuable thing that I wanted to bring out coming up here. You have to know yourself, and you can't allow other people to shape you or to mold you into what they want to be. You have to learn to stand up and realize who you are and use your personal gift and your talents. So that's all I came up here to say. It was amazing. Coach Mary, thank you so much for participating. And I'm going to drop down.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure, and I really thank you. Thank you for your yes, because you said yes to the service and you are impacting a lot of lives. It is an honor for me to be part of your circle of phenomenal women. I am so proud and I am so happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's a blessing, and I continue to thank you and to thank God for making us cross our paths. If I was not seeking for help, I will not meet you. If I was not seeking for collaboration, I will not meet you. So thank you so much. I am so grateful. And it is
Thank
an honor to be called your friend and your partner in the journey.
you. Yes, thank you so much, Coach Mary, and the chat.
So thank you so much, everybody. I am acknowledging everybody that is here and giving all your flowers, because coming for conferences, sharing your experiences is the way that we grow. We can only grow by sharing our experiences. And when we share our experiences, we don't know how much we are impacting other people's lives, because sometimes people just really feel so ashamed to share their story or to talk about themselves or to even acknowledge that they have a problem, because why? Fear of being judged, shame, stigma. And we are saying it is important to break the chains of shame and stigma, because they prevent people from seeking help when they need it. When you are ashamed of something, it is difficult for you to talk about it. Meanwhile, sometimes just talking about it is a big way to solve it, to get it off your chest, like Odoms will say, you get it off your chest. Find a way, find somebody, find your tribe, find always find help. Find people to talk with. I understand, because sometimes it is so difficult to talk with people, because I know for sure a lot of people I called my friends, they were the captains of those who were shame talking me. And so I couldn't go to them. But you will always find that one person. You will always find that one person that will honestly listen to you, that will honestly find ways to support and help you, that will honestly, like, just tell you it is going to be okay. Sometimes you just need someone to tell you it is going to be okay. Or sometimes you just need someone to tell you, like my sister always says, you have so many nieces and nephews. What is it about you don't have children? You have a handful, and sometimes you don't even know what to do with them. Yes, Bouger, I decided to start telling my side of the story because I was being made out to be a bad mother. Girl, speak up. So important. You have to speak up. And sometimes when you speak up, people don't have anything else to say about you. And what is it about judging people? Some people just spend all their lives judging others. They are so idle and they are so also miserable. I call them miserable people because when if you are not miserable, you will not be finding flaws in everybody and wasting your precious time going from one place to another talking about people. When you are fulfilled, happy, you have gratitude, you don't have time to be looking at what somebody ate in their house, what they did not eat, what happened or what did not happen. You are just doing you and serving from your overflow to impact humanity in the best way that you can. And so when we are having any change, first identify what are my chains. Marlene reminded about self-awareness. Know yourself. I have a my SWOT analysis. If you go to my, there's a link below, you go to my buy my coffee page, you have a free PDF of my SWOT analysis that can help you to know who you are because it helps you to identify your strengths, your weaknesses, the opportunities around you, and the threats. You are just doing the exercise so as to know yourself and to focus on your strengths, build on your strengths, and then outsource your weaknesses and find help with people who can help you to make up for the things that you cannot do. So when you find your strengths and weaknesses and your opportunities, I am telling you, you are going to excel because you are becoming a better version of you every day and your focus is on you. You are not focused on what people are saying. That is their business. And besides, it doesn't really matter. What matters is, am I happy? Am I grateful? Am I fulfilling my destiny? Am I fulfilling my dreams? Am I really walking in my destiny? And talking about fulfilling your dreams, it is never too late. Like we say, every time you have tried like 999 times and it did not work, hit that reset button and give yourself 1,000 second chances because you are a work in progress. There is always room for improvement, and you can always, like, we are in the business of building back better. We are in the business of what? Building back better. Because why? We are using lessons from our challenges to build back better. Each time we are building back, we are using lessons and it is always getting better. So when you are building back, it is always getting better. And when you want to be your best version, it is always getting better. So it's so important to find you, find your tribe, and do you. Build yourself. Continue to become the best version of you. Continue to be like each day, I am a better person than I was yesterday. So it is important for me. I found that it was important to break my chains of shame and stigma, because it helped me to really remove that embarrassment or the struggle, or every time somebody would think that, oh no, poor her. No, I am not poor. I am too blessed and anointed to call myself a poor person. I am not poor. So it's not because I divorced that you say, oh, poor her, her marriage did not work. No, I choose the wrong people and I quit when I found that it was not working. And I made a mistake. It is okay. I am not a perfect human being. Only God is perfect. And I can always use my lessons to build back better. The premise that you are a work in progress is so important, because it helps you to know that you have not yet arrived. You are on a journey, and until the last breath, you will never say that you have arrived. Absolutely, coach. So we have an amazing lineup of ladies today. You are going to be mind blown. I thank you so much for the active chat. You have been so wonderful. I'm really sorry if I couldn't call you out individually. I was putting everybody's name on the screen, and I am so blessed and grateful for your time on a Saturday morning. There are so many things that you could be doing. There are so many places where you could be, but you decided to empower yourself, and you will not be disappointed. Coming up next is Pandy. I have her link pinned up in the chat. Her link is pinned up, and I am telling you, you are going to be mind blown with all these phenomenal ladies. Because why? We are all operating from our overflow. We embraced our uniqueness, we embraced our gifts, and we have decided to be advocates, to raise awareness, and to share our journey, so that everyone can be blessed, so that we can be a blessing to others. Like we always say, when you share your story and when you want to leave a legacy, it is not always only about money. It is about who remembers your name when they are telling their own stories. Who remembers my name when they are telling their own stories? Who remembers the impact that I made in their life just by sharing my story, by telling them that you are not a failure because you failed in marriage or because you failed in school. That's why they have you repeat the class, you have a catch up exams. There is always catch up in everything we do. And so I am so honored to be part of this empowerment conference. We are going to continue with the conferences. Marlene has made it a quarterly thing. So I am always game. Anytime, Marlene, you have my yes, just tell me when and give me the topic, and we are good to go. I want to thank every one of you. It is always really an honor to find a genuine tribe with whom you can really close your eyes. I can close my eyes in the presence of you all, because I know that you all have my back. You have my back. I close my eyes. I can operate without any fear, because I know that if I am falling, you are going to have my back. So thank you, people. Let's move on to Pandis. You are not a failure because you failed at something. You are a work in progress. Find the chains that are holding you back and break them. It is possible. Thank you so much.